So we're on day 2 now of this bathroom renovation. I think I said yesterday we got the floor up to expose underneath there just to see what we was dealing with. So what we're going to be doing today, or hopefully today if we get this far, is we're going to extend the waste pipe across the floor into the area where the shower's going to go. We're going to get this board up, and we're probably going to get the full length of that board up because we've got to bring the heating pipes from over there to where the towel rail is going to go here, so we need to set them into position as well. So we've got 10 mils on that rad. I'm going to just step up to feed the towel rail here. It won't be an issue on this system. Just coming out the floor is going to look a lot nicer coming up in 10 mil. We've got the cold over here already. We've got to bring the hot from the basin over here because we're going to be feeding the basin. And then I think I explained yesterday, these two pipes are the shower pipes that were feeding that shower. Now I'm going to trace back these at some point today because I want to 100% make sure they are what I think they are, what the cold being tank fed and the hot being off that little stabbing off the side of the cylinder. Then what we're going to do is possibly bring these two pipes up in the cupboard behind where this valve's going to go, because we may have to fit a pump on it at a later date because the customer's not 100% sure if they're happy with the flow from that old shower, and I said it may have been because it was an old valve or whatnot. So we're going to fit this, see how this shower performs, then if it's not up to what they want, then if the pipe work is in the back of that cupboard, we can connect a little shower pump to it. Dead straightforward enough. And because the feed of it's being pulled off the side of that cylinder and coming from the tank, we should be okay. So yeah, so that's the plan. It's just a bit or a lot more time consuming than I thought when I sort of came and looked at it, but it is what it is. We crack on with it. I know I'm on a bit of a schedule with a tiler for Monday, but we've just got to get done what we can get done. So let's start by getting this section of floor up and getting this main board up, and then we can see exactly where we're going to go with this. Right, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. Tonight's video is a follow-up to the bathroom video that I started last Sunday. Now, there's been a few things on this job that have begun to test me stress-wise. If you've ever doing bathrooms, you'll know that you try to hit certain targets along the way because you have other trades coming in, plasterers, tilers, electricians, etc. So you're to quite a bit of a tight schedule. Now, this bathroom, everything that could be thrown at me to knock that schedule out has, and it's began to play on my mind a little bit, to the point of the last week, the tiler's been in there, I've been out doing other jobs, but I've not really filmed them because I just wanted a break from trying to remember to make content. Making YouTube stuff is all well and good, and it's not too intrusive on your day's work, but you've got to be conscious about capturing stuff that you do. And I just wanted to turn off from that for a little bit. So I didn't film this week's work, but all these bathroom videos have sort of pre-filmed last week and the week before. So I edited this one up, but it was coming out at like 45 minutes. So I've split it. First part is today. Second part is the next video, which if you're watching it in order will be Wednesday. I think you're going to get a little bit of a feel of how I'm feeling on the job from this one. I've watched it back when editing it, and it's hopefully going to come across like that. So drop a comment below, let me know what you think. Also, while I'm here, a lot of people have asked about install a show. Yes, I'm going to install a show this year. If you go in and you see me, come and say hello. Tuesday, I'm working with Thomas Dudley on their stand. As you know, I'm a brand ambassador now for Thomas Dudley. I work quite closely with them, developing products and helping feedback on products that are coming to market. And the Wednesday, I'm working with Snug Underfloor Heating, as usual. Thursday, I'm hoping to have a bit of a free day to look around the show. But if you go in on any M3 days and you see me, come and say hello, come and have a chat. It'd be great to meet you. Put some faces to some names that are always commenting, which is always nice. So if you've never been to install a show and you can afford a day out to go, it is really, really good. There's massive manufacturers there, brands, tools, little products that are coming to market. It's just a really nice event. You know, I think it's probably the best, I think it's the best event that the plumbing community have got for the year. There's seminars about heat loss stuff and heat pumps and everything that's coming to market. So if you can, get down there. If you see me, come and say hello. I will be plugging it a little bit more when we get closer to install shape. I just wanted to let people know. Right, that's enough waffle from me. Let's get on with the video. Hope you enjoy it. Drop me a comment. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that jazz. And I shall catch you in the next one. So we're now at a point, I've got the floor up and exposed everywhere where we need to get to. The shower tray's going in here, so we can come off this 2-inch, 1.5 to the position where the shower tray's got to go. So we're going to take a hot from what was the basin before and bring it over here because we're having the vanity units with the basin and the toilet there. These two 15mm are what fed the shower that was there. There is a bit on the tank, I'll show you now, which is the hot feed coming out the top of the cylinder, which is going to be quite handy. It's just here. Obviously you've got the main hot coming out the top there, but this feed just comes out the side there, a designated feed point for a shower. So what we're going to do is trace that back. These pipes come through this cupboard. This is the back of where the shower is going to go. Them two pipes come through this cupboard. What I'm going to do is access them here, bring them up, put 2 valves on here, and then we can get the 2 pipes from this cupboard to where the valve's going to go inside the bathroom. Also, what I have just been doing is tracing out all these pipes in here. So I've gone up into the roof to where both the tanks are and worked out what's the vent, what's the hot, what's the cold feed, what's the tank feed, and what's the cold feed from the tank to the shower. And I've gone down and marked them all, as you'll see. This is the tank feed for the shower, the cold for the shower from the tank. Got the heating vent, got the heating fill, so that's coming from the small heating tank to fill the heating system. That's the cold to the cylinder. That's obviously the hot, that's the vent, and that is the cold main going up to feed the 2 tanks. And as I said, this is that hot coming off the tank. But what I want to do is double check them 2 shower pipes are what I think they are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the cold main off, then I'm going to drain the hot water down, and then go around, check all the hot water taps are off. So in theory, from that point there down to there, that should still give us hot water at that shower pipe that's in the bathroom. If it does, perfect, we know that that's that. The same with the tank feed for the shower. Once the cold main's off to everywhere, I'll then go and open up the shower pipe, the shower cold, because if that's still running, we know it is coming from there. So it's just a case of eliminating what's what. Then in my own mind, I'll know exactly what pipe is doing what. So let's go and turn the water off and check. We know what the cold is, the hot is, so we 100% know what we're connecting onto. So we've got the cold main off. I've been round to all the basin taps and opened them up to make sure we've got the cold off. There's no cold coming to those taps. So we've done the bathroom, we've done the downstairs kitchen utility. I've just opened up the cold feed here for the toilet. So that's telling us there's no water obviously going to that. Now what I'm going to do is connect the hose to what I worked out to be the cold, the shower cold. For some reason they were the wrong way around, but we can sort that out when we connect them properly through that way for this new bathroom. But I'm going to connect the cold, what we assume is the cold from the tank, just to see if that is still running. If that's still running, we know that's the cold. And then I'm going to do the same with the hot. I'm going to drain down all the hot in the house because that's going to be the top of the cylinder. Then by connecting the hose to the hot on here, we'll still have that 6 or 7 inches until it comes off that cold feed from the tank. And then we know that is what that is. I just want to double check it so I'm not connecting into the wrong pipe. So what we'll do is connect the hose onto here, and then luckily I'm going to poke the other end down that 2-inch there. So if my calculations are correct, this should still be running with the cold from the tank in the roof. So yeah, that is the cold from the roof. I'm just going to leave it running for a little bit because for some reason these pipes were switched round going to the existing shower. I want to make sure that is cold, it's not pulling any heat back through it. And then what we'll do the same for the hot, just to make sure that's what we want it to be. So while that's draining down, I thought I'd get the floor up in this little cupboard. This is the airing cupboard here, and this is the back of the bathroom, or the ensuite that we're doing. And them 2 pipes come this way into the airing cupboard. You can see, luckily for us, they've marked the floor roughly where those pipes are going to be. So what I'm going to do very carefully is cut out that area, because we can see the nails on the joist there, nails on the joist there. So if I cut this out, we should be able to get to all the pipes that are underneath there, hopefully the heating pipes as well. Then I can cut them, poke the two shower pipes up here with valves on, and then we can get to the heating pipes as well. We probably won't get to drain the heating today, but I'll get everything ready for tomorrow to be able to get onto them and then bring the pipe work up in there where the towel rail is going to go. It's an old Victorian towel rail, so we've got to make sure the pipes are coming out exactly in the right place. But for now, we've got to get a bit more of the bloody chipboard floor up. God, I hate it, really do. It just doesn't come up very well at all. Downstairs now, the kitchen hot has stopped running. The hot in the utility has stopped running. So in theory, the top of the tank now is the lowest point of the hot water. It's drained down to there because that's the feed off the top of the cylinder. I hope you're following this, because I'm trying to explain it as best I can, because it's genuinely testing my head a little bit, trying to get my head around what's going on with this pipe work. Let's hope when we open this, there is still water coming out of that. Yes. So give it 5 minutes and that should stop running, because then we can cut these two back, because they go under the floor there, which is what we're going to expose. That cupboard I've worked out is to here. So those will be the pipes. Hopefully we'll get these two heating pipes, because one drops down that way, this one comes across and that way, which should save a lot of hassle. So we'll get the floor up in there and then be able to cut these back. So what I am tempted to do, when we know that that is definitely what we want it to be, is take this gate valve off, because I've turned it a little bit and then I stopped, because the age-old rule is you never touch a gate valve because they're an absolute pain for seizing up. Swap that for a lever valve. We've got one here as well. This is the tank feed to the showers, so I'm going to swap that for a lever valve as well. I'm going to leave that 28mm gate valve on there, because that is the cold for the cylinder, and that's obviously stop tap for the cold main going up. But yeah, as a rule, never touch a gate valve. Just get rid of them. They're more hassle than they're worth, to be honest. That has near enough, well, so yeah, stop now. Grab the lever valve out of the van. I'm going to go and change that gate valve while it's drained down. At least I know it's done. We've got that floor up, we've got a little bit of access in this cupboard, and as I was hoping, we've got the pipe work here. So this is the cold main that's going over to feed the toilet. These are the two heating pipes, I'm just marking them up, and these are the hot and cold to the shower. So what I'm going to do is cut them off, connect onto here, bring these two shower pipes up here, and then we can go and do whatever we need to do with them that way. The heating pipes, I'm going to cut here and run two 15mm pipes into that bathroom ready for the towel rail. And then obviously that cold main is going over to feed the toilet, and then we've got the hot from the basin that we've got to take over there as well. So yeah, I was glad we can get this access here, and then I can bring the two shower pipes up there. So after exposing this and sorting out which pipe was which, I looked at the heating pipes and I thought, I'm going to put two full bore isolation valves on the heating pipes, because we've got to come off here to feed the towel rail that's in the bathroom. Now, because this is on a gravity fed system, it's a pain to fill it up, dropping it down, filling it up, and I'm just conscious of airlocks and stuff like that. So by fitting two full bore isolation valves here under the floor in this accessible panel, at least we know then we can isolate that towel rail. And also I've picked up a lever valve, because we've now got the hot isolated on the side of the tank here. So this is the cold feed. I'm just going to pop that gate valve off and pop a lever valve on. So I'm just draining down a cold feed so that we can switch that lever valve onto where that gate valve is. But also, as I said, I'm going to put some ISOs onto the heating. Now, what I'm going to do is bung this tank. If you look down the bottom there, you can see the feed. Now, what's always best to do is just check inside that feed. Sometimes I have little lugs inside. That one's clear, but we just pop that bung into there, as you can see, and then pop the other bung into the vent, which causes a vacuum. Just make sure that's nice and tight in there, because you don't want it coming out, which then causes a vacuum in the heating system. And what we'll be able to do is just put a towel underneath where them two heating pipes are, cut it and then put that full bore isolation valve on each one. And then we've got complete control over the rads. We haven't got to keep draining it down. I've just taken the rad off in the bathroom and opened the valves up, and the bungs in the tank are holding because there's no heating water coming out. So what we're going to do is cut into these two heating pipes. Now I've got my full bore isolation valves, which I'm going to turn off because they're currently on. We're going to cut them in here. So we're going to cut one at a time. So I've got everything ready. Got my aquavac there, got my towel underneath. I know the water's holding in it, so we'll cut this one and then we'll get ready. I'll get my adjustables ready to the nut sizes, so everything is set. I've even got a spare battery for the aquavac just in case. But let's get these cut and let's get these put on that pipe, so then we've got full isolation on the towel rail. So let's turn them off because we don't want them. Worst thing to do is if it does let go a little bit, is putting that on and it's still pissing out the end there. So make sure they're turned off like so. As I said, they are the full bore ones. Right, let's just get straight into it then. So let's cut this one. As I say, I have opened that rad up, so there shouldn't be much in it. Let's just quickly pull these clips off just to give us a bit more movement in the pipe when we've undone it. So we've got a little bit of water coming through, so we'll just pop the valve on like so, hold it into position, get it tightened up. Just got to be a little bit quick because there are just a little bit of water in the pipework. That's why you put the towel underneath. There you go, that's one. Just reset a little bit and get ready to do the next one. There we go, look, we've got nothing coming out. So we get our valve, pop it on, get it tightened up. There we go. So we can get them two pipes out of the way. They're for the rad in the bathroom. They're the heating pipes. I'm just going to turn that ever so. They're the two heating pipes now, ready to go for the tower. Complete isolation on them and full bore, so we're not going to lose any flow. Go into that tower rail. Go upstairs now. Take the bungs out of the tank, and that's the heating side of it done. We know we can get onto it, connect that. And also what we can do now is cut into these two, bring these two stabs up in the wall here, ready to go off to feed the shower valve. Right, we're back in this bathroom. As you can see, I'm a little bit concerned I'm going to do that. This is going to be boarded off again and then tiled, so we have got a little bit of play. We could maybe grip fill or CT1 some ply onto that. brick top's back on the channel, making a hole in the ceiling, causing loads of noise. Honestly, my run of bad jobs at the minute is unbelievable. This job has been everything that could possibly have been in place to test me. Whoever's boarded it before has put no battens down the sides, no battens along the back, and no battens down there. So I've now mounted the valve in the wall. It's took some doing because we've had to work out exactly where the tile's going to go, because you've got to sit within this 30mm tolerance here. I was just about to fit this tray. We've got it stripped down. We ordered it, 1500 by 700 tray. So just before we was about to drop it in, I noticed, I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it up, but there's a lip on here.